Back at Eldridge Park. Get you set for first pitch here. Luke Maley alongside Jack Johnson. Let's go ahead and meet the starting lineups for these two teams. Let's start with the visiting Bourne Braves, where they will send Nelson Taylor to lead off and play center field. The second baseman, Mac Horvath. The shortstop, Matt Shaw. Batting cleanup, the left fielder, Evan Slight. Batting fifth, the designated hitter, Chris Brito. The third baseman, batting sixth, Wyatt Hensler. At first base, batting seventh, Joshua Moylan. And in that eighth spot, the right fielder, Nadir Lewis, rounding things out for the Bourne Braves. The catcher, batting ninth, Alan Espinal. They will have to square up against the Firebirds starter in Chris Clark, making his second appearance. We talked a little bit about him, Jack, but this is a guy that was mainly used out of the bullpen and has since transitioned into a starter role. This is his second start, and he's looking to follow up his last start. That was pretty dang good with another one here.
Yeah, his last start, his first start of the season, it kind of caught everybody by surprise because his longest time on the mound before that four-inning performance against Katuitt was an inning and two-thirds that he threw against Brewster, and that was in the 4-4 tie back here on July 5th. All of a sudden, he explodes for 4 innings, faced 16 batters, did walk 3, and struck out 2. But the number that stands out to me, no earned runs, and only 1 hit allowed. Chris Clark is very skilled at getting ahead of batters early in counts. And again, like I said earlier in the broadcast, it's really going to depend on whether his fastball is going to be his friend or his enemy tonight.
Yeah, sometimes can have some trouble locating the fastball. Has hit 3 batters on the season, and that's been mostly with that fastball. But if Chris Clark has his control, he's usually pretty good. Here's Nelson Taylor, the center fielder out of Polk State. This is his second game, his first start, as that first game only came in to play defense. This is the first trip to the dish here in the CCBL for Nelson Taylor. Takes a first pitch ball from the right hand of Chris Clark, who's ready with pitch number 2, a big swing and a miss. Evens the count at a ball and a strike. The Bourne Braves looking to lock up a trip to the postseason. They can do it with a win against the Firebirds here today. They stand at 17, 14, and 6, whereas the Firebirds stand at 14, 19, and 4. The 1-1 on its way, a wave and a miss. And ahead is Chris Clark, 1-2. Clark posted a 3.78 ERA so far through 16 2/3, looking for strikeout number 19. He's given up 7 earned runs over that span, to go along with 13 hits, 8 walks. This one fouled back and out of play. We'll reset and do the 1-2 all over again.
Yeah, so when fastball is the strikeout pitch in a strikeout situation, still has a strikeout situation. Now, the other 2 pitches that Clark can throw has that slider in the low 80s and a changeup.
The left-handed bat of Taylor peers in, and it's a breaking ball away that misses the zone. 2-2.
You see Burns, the catcher tonight for the Firebirds. He's just trying to establish the zone. Tried to backdoor a slider there.
Clark peers in, gets the sign, pitch on its way. It's fouled back over the netting behind the plate, and it stays at 2-2. Bourne is chasing that second place spot that belongs to the Katuitt Kettleers. They do have a 3-point advantage on the Falmouth Commodores. Firebirds, a win last night, put them in that 4th place spot, chasing Brewster, as this one hit to the left side, but in the air, and it'll travel out of play.
Well, this is a great at-bat to start from Nelson Taylor. He's facing one of the Firebirds' best pitchers all season long, Chris Clark, who has given up some runs, but 3 out of those 7 runs, nearly 50% of the runs were surrendered in just that performance against Harwich last Friday night. So that doesn't really tell the tale, and to be sitting on the 9th pitch of the at-bat already, good tone setter for the Braves offense.
On its way, 2-2. This one just misses the top of the zone. And Nelson Taylor, in his first trip to the dish on the season, has worked the count to full to open this ball game.
Well, you get the feeling that Nelson Taylor was sitting fastball there. Chris Clark threw that exactly where he wanted, but Taylor identified it right out of the release point and felt like it was going to miss the zone. Rewarded there for that take.
Payoff pitch. This one struck high and deep in the air into right center. Humphrey to the wall, to the track, looking up, and it is gone. A leadoff home run for Nelson Taylor. His first hit as a Bourne Brave is out of the yard. 1-0 through one batter here as Chris Clark gives up his first home run of the year.
That was an impressive at-bat all around by Nelson Taylor. Just finally had Chris Clark come across the middle to the middle half of the plate, and he burned him for it. He's got a fastball on the inside part, was able to get it to the pole side, and boy, he popped that out of here.
Well, Clark will go back to work against the two-hole batter, the second baseman, Mac Horvath, who has been swinging the bat very well as of late. Fouls the first one off to the right side. In his last 5 games, Horvath 7 for 21 with 6 runs scored. Horvath out of UNC Chapel Hill. A Tar Heel, he's going to lace this one into the left center field gap. It'll drop in for a base hit. Back-to-back hits for the Braves have opened up the contest. And already through just 2 batters, the Bourne Braves have picked up more hits than the Cotuit Kettleers had through all 4 innings of Chris Clark's first start.
Yeah, and sometimes that leadoff home run can rattle a pitcher, especially because Clark was ahead in that count and had access to all of his strikeout pitches. And then he all of a sudden had to challenge, and the one challenge pitch he threw was parked in the bullpen. That can rattle you. You just want to try to get somebody out now.
The Cape Cod Player of the Week steps up. He grounds swiftly to shortstop. The throw to first from McCleary is in time. A 6-4-3 double play turned by McCleary, Urso, and Jones. And there are 2 away in the first.
And McCleary 11th on the Cape in shortstops and turning double plays. And he's just continued to get better and better. Last night, flipped a pair as the Firebirds really needed both of those double plays in that situation last night. Keep things rolling.
So here is Evan Slight, the cleanup man. Bats from the left side, the left fielder here today. He's 3rd in average in the entire Cape Cod Baseball League and is also riding a 21-game on-base streak. Against the Firebirds, has done quite a bit of damage as he takes ball 1 down and in. Slide out of Rutgers. Through 3 games against the Firebirds, he's 4 for 9 with 2 runs scored, also a double. 3 strikeouts has been the only issue. This one past the diving J.D. Urso, and it finds Isaac Humphrey in right field. So after the double play, there's another man aboard with 2 down. Evan Slight picks up his first hit of the evening, and here comes the power bat of Chris Brito, the designated hitter today. This is a lineup, Jack, that is just absolutely filled with big hitters, but let's take a second with Brito at the dish to meet the Firebirds defense. It's Hopfe in left, Keishel in center, Humphrey in right, and then left to right on the infield. Metzdorf, McCleary, Urso, Jones. Behind the plate, Connor Burns. You just saw him pick one there. And obviously Chris Clark not having the start that he'd have imagined for this game.
Yeah, he's missing a lot on the glove side. That's just been where he's struggling to locate. Arm side, third base side towards the inside part of righties, he's been able to locate a little bit better, but you don't want to throw middle to middle in against Brito.
The 1-0 to Brito is in there for a strike. Clark went with the slider, got it in the zone. Evens the count at a ball and a strike. Evan Slight over there at first base after the 2-out single. It's already 1-0 here in the top of the first, courtesy of a leadoff home run on a 3-2 count by Nelson Taylor. That's another breaking ball, and it drops in to Connor Burns' mitt for strike 2. Back ahead, and the count is Chris Clark. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. This is Brito's 37th start out of 38 games on the season. Only 4 other players have started more than him. One of them stands in center field. Luke Keishel making his 38th start of the year. As this one skied high. Connor Burns giving chase. And this one caught by our beat writer right beside us in Jack Loader. Wow. Thought we had a play there, Jack.
Oh, we did. The Firebirds had a play. The Firebirds media team had a play. Jack Loader with the media intern play of the summer right there.
Interns
I was tracking that one the whole way, hoping that I could get a hand on it. Rather a good buddy, able to haul it in.
Yep.
So it stays at 1-2 to Chris Brito.
It's Loader Summer on Cape Cod.
The 1-2, this one taken, called strike 3 by the home plate umpire Brandon Johnson. And the inning comes to a close for Chris Clark. Picks up his first strikeout, rolled a double play, but 3 hits in the inning led to 1 run. It was the solo shot off the bat of Nelson Taylor that got things going for the Braves. So 1 run on 3 hits, 1 left aboard the base paths, no errors on the Firebirds in the inning. We'll turn it over to the home half and keep it right here on the Firebirds TV network, where the Firebirds will send Luke Keischel, J.D. Urso, and Cam Jones to the dish. Let's get your first reactions from that top of the inning, Jack. Just what did you see from the Braves offense and then Chris Clark?
Well, from the Braves offense, I saw a patient approach where they really had Chris Clark work his way over the plate against them. You know, Chris Clark can pick at the edges all he wants, but you saw Bourne with a lot of patient takes on the corners has really kind of earned their way into a position where they made Chris Clark come across the plate. When that occurred, he made basically a couple mistakes over the heart of the plate, and they made him pay for it. Now, for Chris Clark, I don't really see a large issue with that first inning. I mean, his confidence was a little bit rattled, but overall I thought some of the pitches worked pretty well. He's tried to backdoor a couple off-speed pitches. His fastball, for the most part, was located pretty well. But overall, I mean, well, you just got to be shell-shocked there to give up that home run and the 3 hits. I mean, that's just not the Chris Clark we've seen so far this summer.
Very unconventional from Chris Clark. But let's go ahead and meet the Firebirds lineup sent out by Kelly Nicholson, presented by Nauset Management. It is Luke Keischel leading off, playing center field, making his 38th start of the season out of 38 games. J.D. Urso right behind him in the 2 spot, playing second base. Cam Jones, the first baseman, batting third. In that cleanup spot, it's the right fielder, Isaac Humphrey. The designated hitter, batting fifth, Garrett Gilmet. Right behind him in that 6th spot, it's Drew Metzdorf playing third base. His second game here on the Cape was the hero last night with a go-ahead 2-run double that came in the 8th inning for the Firebirds, followed by Tommy Hopfeet, the left fielder. In that 8th spot, it's Connor Burns, the catcher. And rounding things out for the Firebirds tonight, the shortstop, Nick McCleary. Firebirds are coached by head coach Kelly Nicholson in his 17th season here in Orleans. And here comes Luke Keischel, who is looking for his 19th straight game-reaching base here at home. He's a perfect 18 of 18 on the season, getting aboard here at Eldridge Park. Looking to continue that streak. He'll have to do it against Cade Grundy out of Louisville. And, Jack, what do we know about Grundy?
Well, Cade Grundy on the mound for the Bourne Braves. He's a guy that he's going to be right-handed pitcher. He pitches with that really unorthodox stance where he's got the front toe turned directly towards the plate. Misses inside there to Keischel. So, yeah, Luke Keischel at the plate. And guy, like you said, has been on a pretty good on-base streak here. So, you know, Grundy, 18 innings. They've trusted him a lot so far with the ball.
Keischel skies this one out of play, and it's 1-2 in favor of the righty out of Louisville. Grundy this season 1-1 with a 2 ERA through 18 innings pitched. This is his 3rd start. His first start and his best one came against Orleans, where he went 4 innings pitched back on the 24th of June, giving up 3 hits, 1 run, 3 walks, and 2 strikeouts. Keischel takes, and it is strike 3. Rung him up on a breaking ball at the knees, and he becomes out number 1. And that's been the struggle for Luke Keischel, who has netted 12 multi-strikeout games, I should say. The most recent one came with 4 against Harwich on Friday. Let's go ahead and meet the defense for the Bourne Braves. It is Evan Slight in left field, Nelson Taylor in center, and right field, Nadir Lewis, and from left to right in the infield, Wyatt Hensler at third, Matt Shaw back at shortstop, Mac Horvath at second base, Joshua Moylan doing the work at first, behind the plate, Alan Espinal, and you know, Cade Grundy, the righty on the bump. Pitch from Grundy, misses upstairs, it's 1-0. J.D. Urso was activated by the Firebirds on July 15th. He went 4 for his first 11 and recorded hits in his first 3 games as a Firebird. Has since cooled off quite a bit. Last 9 trips to the dish, he's come up empty. Watches this one for a called strike. JD playing second base again as he did last night for the Firebirds. Seen him also at third. The 2-1 on its way, a swing and a miss. That evens things at 2 apiece. Cam Jones stands on deck for the Firebirds, who already trail it 1-0, courtesy of a solo home run to lead things off by Nelson Taylor. As the pitch from Grundy misses outside, the count goes to full. This is the Braves' first look at J.D. Urso. Last time these two teams met was back on July 8th, so a week after J.D. was then activated. He's going to send this one to right field. Giving chase is the right fielder in Nadir Lewis, and he'll haul it down about a step in fair ground, and will travel all the way off your screen and in towards the crowd. So there are 2 away. Firebirds have sent 2 to the plate. Both have come up empty and headed back to the dugout. But here is Cam Jones, who has only seen this Braves team on 1 occasion. 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts in that game. That was the first at-bats for Cam Jones on the summer. But over the last 10 games, he's got a 10-game hitting streak and has gone 16 of his last 39 to a tune of a .410 average. He's been pretty good, Jack.
Oh, he's been exceptional. Yeah, and 10-game hit streak, just spectacular. And somebody that has gotten hits in a variety of ways, but a ground ball hitter that can poke the ball through a lot of holes.
Hits this one well, but right at the second baseman, Mac Horvath, who fields and throws on to Moylan. And that does it for the first inning. We've played 1 here from Orleans. The Firebirds sat down in order in the bottom half, but the leadoff home run by Nelson Taylor is the difference after 1. It's 1-0 Braves as we head to the top of the second. We'll step aside here on the Firebirds TV network.